What if I told you that there's a plan to slash government waste, to eliminate frivolous spending, and to potentially cut taxes by 10%, all without getting Congress involved? Now, let me say that one more time. Potentially cut taxes by 10% without any congressional involvement whatsoever. Now, this sounds like a pipe dream, right? How are we going to have our taxes cut? Well, not really. For the first time in history under Trump's leadership, two business outsiders have been brought in to recommend how to make the bloated government machine more financially responsible. But my friends, if you haven't heard about it yet, you're probably hiding under a rock, but this is the Department of Government Efficiency, or more commonly known as Doge. It's a bold initiative spearheaded by Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. But here's the twist. Doge isn't just about fixing government inefficiency. The same principles behind this plan can literally transform your personal finances. So when you read about Doge in the news, or you're watching this video right here, I don't want you to say this is just for them, which it is. But this also can be applied to you directly. And if you understand the principles that Ramaswamy and Musk are bringing to the government spending, then my friends, this will literally transform your personal finances and empower you to achieve financial freedom in a snap of your fingers. So today, I'm gonna dive into the 3 pillars of Doge. Its potential impact on taxpayers. Yes, there is a potential for taxes to be lowered with government efficiency. And finally, how you can Doge your way to financial freedom by cutting waste, simplifying systems, and investing in what truly matters. So if you're new to this channel, first off, welcome. Welcome to the Wealth Outside of Wall Street channel. My name is Ryan Lee, and I created this channel to help you take control over your money and break free from outdated financial thinking. Here, we uncover how the wealthy approach money and investing so you can do the same. My mission is to empower you to achieve financial freedom in 10 years or less. So if you're ready to think differently about money and investing, well, my friends, you're in the right place. So back to the point of this video, which is Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, a radical plan to overhaul bloated US federal government and its reckless spending. This department has 3 primary focuses: cut unnecessary regulations, reduce waste, and trim bureaucratic agencies. The goal is pretty simple with Ramaswamy and Musk at the helm. It's create a leaner, more effective government that serves the people instead of draining their resources. Government inefficiency and reckless spending have reached staggering levels of just incompetency. But my friends, it's nothing new. We all know that there's major problems with the way the government spends money. But here's the problem. When government spends money, they're not just spending money, they're spending our money. We go to work and we pay massive taxes. In fact, we pay taxes on top of taxes on top of taxes. Now, if the Doge department were to come in and slash government spending by 10 to 20%, which is what is on the table, would this impact you and I's lives? Well, let me give you a real world example. Consider this. During a massive federal strike with our neighbors up north in Canada, there were 155,000 workers, government workers, that walked off the job. And guess what? No one in the public eye noticed. 155,000 workers left the government bureaucracy and went on strike because they wanted more money, and nothing changed in the public sector. Now, this brings up the question. If 155,000 people could walk away from the government department and no one felt the impact in the private sector, in the real world, what's the need for those 155,000 people? Because they're getting paid off of your tax dollars, well, off of the Canadian tax dollars in this example. But essential services, they continued. Life went on as usual. It raised a very uncomfortable question up in Canada. How much of what the government does is truly necessary? In the US, the situation is no better. Billions of dollars every single year are spent on redundant programs, outdated expenditures, and bureaucracies that add little, if any, value to taxpayers, to you and I in the public sector. And if we're not getting any value from the tax dollars that we're sending to Washington, why do we continue to send them? Because when I say that the government spends billions, this means they're spending billions of our dollars, our labor, our sweat equity. So let's be clear, this is your money, confiscated through taxes. The federal government doesn't generate any revenue on its own. It just takes yours, well, and mine too. So ask yourself this very important question. Is your life materially better because of overtaxation to fund a bureaucratic mess? Well, my friends, this is where Doge comes in and confronts this head on. Musk and Ramaswamy have already pointed out that there is over $500 billion in annual, not just one time, but in annual federal spending that is unauthorized or blatantly misused. That is spending that was not congressionally approved or is being frivolly wasted. So to put this in perspective, cutting that waste, the 500 billion, if that's all Doge was able to do, this would be equivalent to giving every taxpayer a 10% tax cut. Imagine what you would do with that money. Imagine if you did not have to work to spend an extra 10% of your taxes going to outdated, unauthorized, bloated government spending. So here are the three pillars that Doge is going to look into. Number one, regulatory rescissions. They're going to eliminate outdated regulations that stifle innovation and increase costs. By cutting the red tape, Doge frees businesses to grow and thrive. And when a business grows and thrives, it hires more people, it pays them better, and it stimulates the economy. Number two, they're going to focus on administrative reductions. Just like happened with our friends up in Canada, we have to ask, is every federal position and their salaries that are paid for out of tax dollars needed to give the American public what they want? So with administrative reductions, Doge is looking to trim the federal workforce to match the reduced regulations. Musk has already shown us that it's possible. Think about the 80% staff cuts that Musk did at Twitter when he bought that company a couple of years ago. 80% less staff, but the public felt no change in how the platform worked. This brings me to the third pillar of Doge, which is cost savings. They're going to redirect or eliminate wasteful spending, such as billions of dollars on grants to organizations that do not serve public interests. These strategies could save taxpayers literally billions of dollars, reduce bureaucracy, and unleash significant economic growth. In countries like Argentina, similar cuts have already boosted GDP by nearly 10%. Imagine that kind of growth here in the US. Lower taxes, more GDP, more productivity by eliminating red tape and waste of all kinds. So here's the crazy part, my friends. If this is successful, Doge could actually lower taxes. Less waste means more money in your pocket. They could drive economic growth by removing barriers to innovation, and businesses can ultimately flourish. And I think most importantly, they could restore trust. A streamlined government focused on accountability fosters far greater public confidence. But the real magic of Doge lies in how you and I can apply the very same logic, the very same strategies to our own finances. So what if you did the same thing that Musk and Ramaswamy are doing with the federal bureaucracy in your personal finance? Because here's the reality, my friends. Politics reflects culture. If we want smaller, more efficient governments, we must first manage our lives with greater efficiency. When you do this, you become less dependent on the government anyway. So here's how you can Doge your personal finances. Step number one, cut all unnecessary expenses. This is kind of like the regulatory rescissions that Musk and Ramaswamy are doing. Just like Doge identifies waste and regulations, you can identify waste in your spending. Did you know that the average American spends over $1,400 a month on non-essential items? That's nearly $18,000 a year on things that don't align with your true goals and values. That $18,000 could be put towards buying back your time, achieving financial freedom, investing in the vault, buying real assets that generate cash flow. When you're intentional and clear about where your money is going, you can make sure that every dollar is going to reflect your highest values. Because after all, every dollar that you have in your life is time that you've already traded. So start by examining your spending, cancel unused subscriptions, cut out habits that don't serve your long-term goals, and free up resources to invest in ultimately what truly matters. Number two, streamline your budget. This would line up with administrative reductions in the Doge plan. By simplifying your financial systems, you first become the CEO of your money. As the CEO of your money, ask yourself, what do I want my money to do for me? Then align every dollar with your true goals and priorities. Second, analyze your monthly expenses. Are they in line with what you value most? If not, make changes, cut it off, redirect the flow of your money. This could mean paying off high interest rate debt, building an emergency fund, or focusing on experiences over material things. Here's the truth. In the digital currency world that we live in today, most people lose sight and therefore lose touch with where their money's actually going. Spend some time, look at your bank account balances, analyze your credit card spending, and get clear that you have to become the CEO of your money. And as the CEO of your money, you have to give every dollar a job that aligns with your true goals and your true values. Stop letting your money slip through your hands like bloated government spending. This brings me to the final step where you can Doge your personal finance, which is investing in what matters. Once you have clarity about where your money is going, you can now be more intentional about where you want it to go and ultimately what you want it to do for you. Think about yourself as a CEO. A CEO doesn't just optimize today, they optimize today in alignment with the future vision. What is your future vision? I want you to consider this. Money is only a tool. It's not good or bad. In fact, what that money does, the tool and the things that it accomplishes, comes down to the vision that you have. If you have a lack of vision, your money will continue to slip through your fingers just like sand. But when you have a vision, you can start being intentional today with where your money's going to achieve that vision in the future. Let me plant in your brain a vision that I have used inside of my own life. What if you can achieve financial freedom in 10 years or less? This is where your cash flow from your assets exceeds your expenses. Now, this might be about retirement, or it might be just about having more options and more control over your most valuable resource, your time and your attention. When you have this vision, when you pull it into 10 years or less, you can start making investment and spending decisions that are in alignment with allocating your capital so that that vision gets closer and more realistic for your world. My friends, achieving financial freedom in 10 years or less is one of the most worthwhile goals that you can have. When you own your time and attention, you get to function in this world as a purpose-driven individual. You wake up every single day and get to say, I get to do whatever I want to do today with my time, my efforts, my talents, and my attention. My friends, I hope that you take this as an inspiration. No matter when you're watching this video, no matter what state of your finances that you're in, I know with the right Doge strategy, you can Doge your finances to become financially free in 10 years or less. We help people do this all the time with the passive income machine investment strategy. So to wrap this video up, let's be honest with ourselves. Like the government, most of us have financial bloat. By following the Doge principles, you can gain freedom from debt and unnecessary expenses. You can accelerate growth through focused investments, and you can achieve clarity by aligning your money with your goals and values. Listen, President Trump has promised that the next 4 years will be the golden age for Americans. But the question is, will it be a golden age for you? A prosperous economy rewards those who are prepared to invest. If reforms like Doge usher in a new golden era of economic growth, the question is, will you have the capital, the attention, and the opportunity to seize the amazing life-changing opportunities that the next 4 years promise? My friends, I want this for you more than you can know, but you have to want it more than I want it for you. So my final recommendation for you is this: be the change that you want to see in the government. Doge is more than just a government reform plan. It's a philosophy of efficiency, accountability, and purpose. Let's Doge our way to a leaner, more prosperous life for ourselves, our families, and our communities. So my friends, a simple rule of life is don't wait for the government to come and fix your life. They're not coming to save you. You have to be the change that you want to see starting today. My friends, if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to this channel to get more videos just like this, and I'll see you on the next video.